What is your film guilty pleasure?
Oh man, I had
What
this
is
the other day.
just the bad?
Porno. I am such a porn connoisseur. I believe in porn stars like they're real actresses. Like I know their filmographies. It's sad.
That's
Well, I guess
pretty
when
bad.
you're in front of the camera, you can technically be considered.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I
to
know
a
like
certain extent.
I was like
I mean, I guess they still do
To
call
me-
them porn actresses.
Yeah,
the
they do.
best
It's-
Wonder Woman to ever hit screen is Chanel Preston.
Chanel Preston.
Yeah.
That one.
I love it.
That Justice League one.
It's right there. It's right there. Justice League
Oh,
porno.
yeah.
I am such a guilty pleasure fan of Ace Ventura.
That's not guilty pleasure though.
That movie's fun.
How many people love that movie?
So you're
Yeah.
a guilty pleasure of Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Because he is a niche.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone in the world likes Jim Carrey because he's really out there.
Can't
Whether
remember.
it doesn't matter what it is, like just like whether it be a movie that everybody hates that you just can't get enough of.
I would say kind of only really for the special effects, but Transformer stuff. Cause
Oh,
Michael Bay.
Popcorn-
So Michael Bay
Bay
is
films,
popcorn movies, right? Popcorn
probably
movies.
those.
my guilty pleasure is it's gotta be my select chick flicks that I watch.
Oh really?
I know
Dude,
it. I know it. I
speaking
watched
of-
Okay.
one.
Well, what are they? Maybe
I
you can redeem
watched.
yourself.
I don't know why. But the two that stand out, the ones that I can watch, I watched this movie called The Sweetest Thing.
That's a good one.
Heard of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
haven't
Christina
seen it.
Applegate. Yeah,
Fucking
Okay.
We have it, yeah.
hilarious.
I have it up there.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I can watch that movie all day. I love it. It's like that was like The Hangover before The Hangover
Okay.
Yeah.
for me.
It was the chick hangover.
We were talking about Matthew McConaughey earlier. I don't know why,
Oh, wait.
because
No.
I hate her.
No, this is what I was saying.
Yeah,
It's
this
one
is
of mine.
everybody. Did you see that? Okay, we've actually got this on film. All three of them.
Say it.
Say it. Failure to launch.
Nope.
I
That ain't
can't.
the one. That ain't the one for
That
me.
was for me. I knew he was gonna say.
Failure
that.
I can't for some
What'd you
reason
think?
not like that movie.
I thought you
I
were
was
going to
gonna
say
laugh
Captain
when I
Michael.
say mine.
Oh
I
no,
went-
I know what it is
I went,
now.
all right, it was
I know
my
what
first
it is.
girlfriend ever. Okay.
I know what it is now.
It's
Did
pretty
you like
sad.
the movie?
Oh, I loved it. She hated it. Ghost of
It's a
Girlfriend's
Ghost of
Past.
Girlfriend's Past.
Oh,
With
Jennifer
Matthew
Garner.
McConaughey
Yeah, and Jennifer Garner's in that.
and
right?
who was that? Michael Douglas? No, wait.
No, the one I always get mixed up
Sheen?
in two. Yeah, Martin Sheen.
I can't get
And
him.
Michael Douglas.
All right,
It's
let's
their
talk
hair or
about
something.
people you get mixed up. Actors you get mixed up. I cannot.
I have one instantly, and it's weird. It
Differentiate.
kind of fades over the years, but growing up, I could never differentiate between Bill Murray and
Dan Aykroyd.
Jim Belushi.
What?
That's
I know.
weird.
It
Jim.
was the face. Yeah, not even John Belushi. Jim Belushi. It was the face.
It's like, it wasn't Dan
Jim's-
Aykroyd.
Jim's not
No.
even in my
Dan,
thought
no
process.
way. Dan Aykroyd is his own thing with me.
For
It's
some,
always-
but I've heard that so many
Really?
times over the years. Like
No, I haven't heard that.
Bill Space Jam made a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was
Yeah,
in this
no.
picture.
But it's always been Jim Belushi and Bill Murray. Not as much these days now, but back then,
Who's
I don't
that
know
dude that looks
why.
exactly like Chris Farley?
His name is
Oh.
Chris Farley.
No, there's only one. Chris
There's
Farley.
somebody's brother.
No, probably his brother actually. His brothers look just like him, and they've used him.
Oh yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Farley.
Kevin Farley. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. And
Kevin
he has
Farley
another one,
and
but
Chris
Kevin Farley and Chris Farley are like.
Isn't
Exactly.
Kevin's a stand-up comic, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was also on some sitcom.
I don't know anything about
I think
that.
it was.
If he can't do Van Down by the River, then he's useless.
Yeah, I don't
so-
know. I want to see him do that too.
How sucky would that be to be Chris Farley's brother and be in the acting world?
Right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
like,
it's
what-
actually
Yeah.
done him well though. I've never seen
Really?
him complain about it.
Well, I bet he gets
but
some acting roles, but he's got to live up to that now.
Yeah, they're like, you know, do that, be your brother. I can. This isn't my shtick. But
Yeah.
you kind of have to be when you look the part.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten consistently mixed up. I don't think there is any actors, actresses, or
Really?
anything that I don't ever remember a time where I was talking to somebody about a movie and I was like this actor was in it.
Well,
Our friend, that former Space Dog member, was watching Machete.
oh
he's
yeah,
like-
that's right.
He's like, I love in Machete where John Travolta pops up.
And
I'm like,
it's
that's Steven
Steven
Seagal.
Seagal, yeah. That one is bad. Like I can't.
That is bad.
I can't say
As a
okay. I
Tanner.
understand. Yeah. I couldn't be like I kind of get where you're coming
You know,
from.
with
'cause
John
no.
Travolta, you mean Steven Seagal? Ah, you know, he would do that all the time.
What?
All the time.
Yeah.
That was.
Well,
So,
hey,
yeah.
we learned one today with
Oh,
Lionel
yeah.
Richie.
Williams.
I'm
So
calling
you,
you out. I'm calling you out, Dr. Nick.
That's a new one I've learned. I never thought that.
Yeah, we were talking Star Wars. He's like, I love Star Wars with Lionel Richie, right? I'm like, huh? It's like, he's Lando. I'm like, no, Billy D. Williams.
Who, fun fact, was also, before he became Two-Face, Harvey Dent in the original
That's
Batman.
right.
Yeah.
And I still
And
can't
he's-
wrap my mind around that.
He's pissed that they haven't given him the call yet for the new Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently
shit.
he's mad
Hopefully he's in one of them, man.
because
We're
Ford
bringing
got
everybody
called
else
up
back.
and Fisher, yeah.
Ford was the first one on board.
Yeah.
What about you? You ever mix any up?
Well, it's funny. When I first saw the trailer for the first Pirates of the Caribbean, I got Orlando Bloom mixed up with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, it's
Well,
that little
it's that
wispy
mustache.
Yeah.
It's gotta be that
And
mustache.
and the hair.
It is, yeah. I was gonna say I could see that.
Was he Zorro?
Banderas?
Yeah,
he was Zorro.
Zorro's a
Yeah.
fucking pirate movie?
And I also got Nicole Kidman mixed up with Kate Winslet.
Oh no, I was gonna say that. I would say Nicole Kidman and Naomi Watts I have before too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's the teeth.
Like, yeah, Naomi Watts and King Kong.
It's always the teeth.
I always thought was
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman from Batman Forever. So,
I always get Hillary Swank or Schwank.
and her breasts, and who else?
And I just get her mixed up with an actress.
Just any actress.
Yeah, just as a professional actress.
Just any actress.
I'm like, are
period.
you an actress? No, I'm Hillary Swank.
Well, at least she has those breasts.
Yeah,
right?
and the teeth.
Don't they make fun of her in Family Guy?
Yeah.
Is it her or Knightley that they make fun of?
No,
It was Hillary
well,
Swank.
South Park, they made fun of Sarah Jessica Parker for looking
Yeah,
Like a foot.
donkey, retarded
Yeah.
horse
Yeah.
witch or something.
Yeah.
Along those
Was her on the
lines.
red carpet?
Yeah, she's with Matthew Broderick.
What is your
Like,
What is your
"Who's this?"
hideous horse
Yeah.
thing?
She's like,
So,
Well, that's another reason why I don't know why I like Failure to Launch so much.
Yeah,
Considering
see?
she's the leading
Yeah.
lady. I'm like, this bitch is retarded.
that's what I'm saying. I had a feeling he was going to say Failure to Launch because every time I think of Matthew McConaughey and him being a laughingstock, I think of Failure to Launch.
I know. That's why I
That's where
don't.
he's coming.
That's why it's my guilty
Yeah,
pleasure. I don't
speaking
know
of
why.
chick flicks and having to do a studio movie sometime in your career, having to branch out of your comfort zone to get other roles. Everyone's done it,
Yeah.
down to Seth Rogen. You think of him as knocked up and his stoner and his stupid laugh. I recently saw The Guilt Trip with him and Barbara Streisand.
I haven't seen that yet. I kind of
And
wanted to
you could
just for him.
totally tell that was a paycheck movie
Yeah.
to get in with somebody to do a big movie.
Yeah,
I think
he
the
was even
poster just
saying
gave it
that.
away.
Yeah, I mean, but you see that, an actor will sell out almost and
Mhm.
and be in this movie like.
Well, you know who
what?
did it right? Jonah Hill.
Yeah, see,
Dude,
that's
that
another
guy,
one. That's another
man.
one. He is the dude on the couch and knocked up to me.
Yeah.
He is, and he's all super bad.
Or
But did you see Moneyball?
Yes, Moneyball.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
right.
he was so good
that's
in
what I'm saying. Like,
Moneyball.
look at this guy.
That's
He
another
went
guilty
from
pleasure. Sports movies.
yeah, he went from this and now he's like
Sports
here
movies
you
to
go,
me,
here you
I'm
go,
a
He was
don't
a
sports
know.
Django
guy.
Unchained too.
Yeah.
I'm a sports guy, so sports movies to me aren't a guilty pleasure. Like
sports
I
guy,
love The
too.
Replacements,
Yeah,
like Keanu Reeves, even like I love it.
I'm a
Yeah.
sports guy.
So
but
that's
too,
not a guilty pleasure.
It's kind
for me.
of like it's a niche because it's,
Oh, it definitely is.
I cry in baseball movies. They are so emotional.
Well, yeah,
a
they're
baseball
always
movie
gonna-
is emotional.
Did you see 42?
No, not yet.
About Jackie
good stuff.
Robinson.
Is it
Yeah,
emotional
Jackie Robinson.
too?
Yeah, which
Or
is
is it-
42?
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
okay.
kind of cool
Well,
because he
the
played
way
here in Danville too.
they were showing the trailers for it with the Jay-Z and everything. I'm like,
It's good.
I
It
just
really
wasn't
is a
sure
good
if they're
movie.
trying to.
That's
My
why I
brother
say
saw
it's
it
a
and thought
guilty.
it was good.
That's why I say it's a guilty pleasure because they do make me cry.
So it's not the
Some
sports
fucking
movie.
movies-
It's just the fact that you cry.
I sit here in my room.
should
and
be
I
a man
choke
watching
up.
this.
Well,
sports
see, like
movies
I
and
was
he's
watching
crying.
the first time I watched The Replacements during the championship game with Dallas.
Yeah.
I thought it was like I was watching a real football game.
Oh man.
When he threw the touchdown, I was like, ah!
Yeah.
He made it!
You know, I do have a very good guilty pleasure, actually. It's those movies that are trying to be so serious, but they end up being terrible, like The Room with Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, yeah.
That is
The
probably...
Room.
So, so really bad
That's
movies.
true.
You like them?
Those are
Like,
guilty
The
they're
worse, the better.
trying, they're trying to be serious and dramatic, but they end up just being terrible.
Stuff like that. Troll 2.
Well, that ties in
you
with
know.
my exploitation
Yeah,
films I love.
because they're just.
I love grindhouses like Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, I
and
saw
even
that.
back in the day, like The Big Birdcage, Coffee, stuff like
Yeah.
that. I love
Yeah.
that shit.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't think about this, because The Room is
That's
the
true,
number one
yeah.
so bad it's good movie to go to.
Yeah, well,
Right.
Troll 2 is up there too. It's the best, worst movie it's called.
Yeah,
Actually, their fan base
Oh, yeah.
is so
It's surprising.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary behind Troll 2?
No, the best.
They
Worst
finally
movie one? No, I
found.
wanted
They
to.
finally found the dude, the lead role, and he's some dentist.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
I was
You were
watching
telling me
Red
about
Letter
that.
Media. Do you
And,
know,
like,
and they were doing a review
he like
about it.
hates
Yeah.
being talked about, right? Or
Well,
something?
no, he never embraced it. He's never seen a horror movie.
Oh, okay, that's
and
what
he
it was.
goes on tour with the Troll 2 fans, and he's like, I cannot believe this shitty
Yeah.
movie I did.
Like, what am I
got
doing
this
here?
biggest fan base, and he is like,
They love it.
he doesn't cuss. He's this nice Christian dentist from Oklahoma, you know, and he's like, I was in that, and I never heard from it after I did it.
And then
30 years later, it comes up as a cult classic.
and the woman who played the mother in the movie, she's kind of
Oh yeah, she's crazy. You have to see the
Yeah, I'll have
documentary.
to see that. I've been wanting to.
Yeah.
How about Emilio Estevez? Would he be considered a guilty pleasure?
Oh my god.
Eh,
Oh, going
kinda.
back to
I love me some
sports
Mighty
movies.
Ducks.
Yeah,
Just to clarify, I never cried over Air Bud.
me either. But then again, I only
You know,
really.
I think I might have teared up over Air Bud just because that clown was beating
Well, I was
the
gonna
shit
say
out of him.
at the
Like,
beginning
First one,
with that
yeah.
clown, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like he throws beer bottles
Yeah.
at him. Like, well, and there's another thing. Look at what
That
we've
clown's
been.
a
Look what
bitch.
we used to be able to get away with in films. Never in a film
Yeah.
today would you be able to have some drunked up clown throwing
Right.
beer bottles at a
You know,
dog.
I was watching, I now
after
VHS
9/11,
collect.
it just changed everything.
Well, we don't. But I didn't even think about it back then. Like I was just like, oh, poor dog. He can play basketball.
Yeah.
Like you know, it wasn't like that son of a
I'm gonna
bitch.
talk about.
I think we're slowly
speaking
getting
of-
back into that.
I
Yeah,
hope
I
so.
think,
Speaking of Air Bud, I was thinking about Air Bud, and I could not watch that movie without eating vanilla pudding. Because Air Bud loves pudding in that.
So that's like
I
the
do
thing when you
a
watch
lot
it,
of
you put it-
VHS hunting, and I look at all these, and back in the 80s, it wouldn't be like unordinary to see in the background Coke, you know, or Pepsi.
Right.
Yep.
They don't do that in movies anymore. I think the last one I saw
The
was
most-
Spider-Man 1 when he smashed into the Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
Pepper,
syrup.
yeah.
But
These
Back in
days
the
it's
day,
not.
it's
Well, yeah,
just
but
like-
now shameless advertising is shameless advertising.
yeah,
Except-
If they advertise something in the movie, it's everywhere.
Yeah, wait, watch
Man of Steel.
Secret Window.
Man of Steel.
Hey, Secret Window with Johnny Depp. It's all Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Yeah, Mountain Dew and Doritos is everywhere.
It's
He
always like
opens
a
the drawers, they're
close-up.
right
It's
on
just
it.
like close
It
up with
is.
the bag, and he's like
Yeah.
ruffling through the bag for like a minute.
Yep.
Oh, gotta get
And at
one
the
of these
end of that-
Doritos.
Yeah, he's like buying Mountain Dew at the end, and just like, man, product
That was one of
placement.
my best. That's one of my favorite things about Wayne's World. He's just like, we will not bow down to any sponsor.
Yeah,
It's
He's like, and fucking Garth is in complete Reebok. It's like people only do things because they get paid. That's just really sad.
it's the truth. Yeah, but product placement you don't see as
It's the
heavily,
choice of our new generation.
but it's there.
Apparently,
It's
I
still
haven't seen this movie, but Jack and Jill, like Adam Sandler, really phoned.
Adam
every time.
Sandler is becoming a guilty pleasure.
You know
Yeah,
what?
he
Like
is.
Adam Sandler, I
It's
think
just-
it's all an act. I think all these bad movies are an
Yeah,
act. Just
right.
watch Funny People.
Yep,
he
when he
plays
did
who
that.
he is in real life. A guy who used to have amazing movies now is washed up. An ex-stand-up guy and makes shitty movies.
Punch
like,
Drunk Love. He was pretty good in that movie.
Yeah, I mean Adam's like
What about this new movie with Barrymore?
they did
See,
something on Jimmy.
Every single
It's
movie
weird.
he's done with Barrymore has been good.
That's
I
what
haven't
I
seen
wanna
this
know.
new
Have
one.
you
And
seen
this one
Jimmy
looks-
Fallon when they came on? They sung
Fuck
a
Jimmy
song.
Fallon.
I love Jimmy
I'm
Fallon.
gonna go on record.
I love-
Fuck Jimmy Fallon.
And I love him.
If I like, you ever have those celebrities who you saw him, you were like, if you saw him in real life, you'd beat the shit out of him. Jimmy Fallon is mine. I'd beat the fuck out of Jimmy Fallon.
Damn, I
That
love Jimmy
stupid
Fallon.
piece
I
of
mean-
shit. He's not funny. I don't know why he has a talk show.
I was never fond
Stupid
of him.
fucking
It's a Tonight
cocksucker.
Show now.
He's grown on me. I was never fond of him before, but I never really hated
Well,
him.
speaking of,
Oh, I hate him. He's a perfect example of how unfunny
I'm
people
trying
can
to go
become
around
fucking
this.
successful in the comedy business.
I'm trying to go around this without mentioning the host of the show because Aaron will go absolutely ballistic. They
So
were
that man-
all right. Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler were on this show. It was on. It'll be on tonight. It's a show
Oh, on NBC.
on NBC, and they were on the show.
That's
And
kind of specific.
They
but
were
not
singing
too
a song
specific.
about. They were singing a song about every 10 years they get married. Every 10 years they're in a movie together and they get married to each other.
Oh.
The Wedding Singer,
Oh yeah, that's right. That was.
Um,
I kept thinking that was really
51st
2000s.
Dates.
51st
and
Dates.
then
They
this
were
one, right?
they
This
were
is
at
the first
Fever
one?
Pitch, and then yeah.
No.
Well, they didn't get married at Fever
They were
Pitch.
in Fever Pitch?
No,
Yeah.
Fever Pitch was He Who Must Not Be Named in Drew Barrymore. Adam
Oh, that's
Sandler,
right.
That's
yeah,
why you're thinking of that. No.
Yeah.
And there's no way that would have been 10 years
Lord
difference.
Voldemort and
yeah.
Fire-
Yeah.
Lord Voldemort and Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. So, but in Funny People,
Yeah, I know, doing the whole.
it almost makes you realize.
So why am I gonna go ballistic?
Well, anyway,
Because they were on.
They
Jimmy
were on-
Fallon
You're
show.
talking about Jimmy
Yeah.
Fallon?
Yeah.
blended, Blended,
kill
I don't
me.
know, because it's Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. It looks okay. It looks better than
Well, and you
what
got
I would
the
say
kid.
is grown-ups, but not better than
I love
classic
grown-ups.
stuff.
I love grown-ups, and I love grown-ups too.
I would
don't
almost say
care.
those are guilty pleasures
don't
because
care.
there's a lot of good eye candy.
He
in
was
that.
so well. Grown-ups.
He's
were-
talking about Taylor Lautner, by the way.
No.
Grown-up. No, let's talk about grown-ups. How it would have been so much different because behind the scenes,
Yeah, Kevin James.
Kevin
should be
James
Chris
was supposed to
Farley.
be Chris Farley,
Yeah, that's true.
and they were supposed to make it in the 1990s.
Mhm.
Chris Farley died, and they put it on hold, and they
Yep.
finally did it with Kevin James.
pretty much.
Which I don't blame Kevin James. I
And he
think he's
tries.
funny.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
You know,
He tries to
yeah.
be Chris Farley.
Yeah.
And it's just like
If he was Kevin James in those movies,
Or the King of Queens, you know.
I would be fine. But
Yeah,
he's
but
Chris
they're-
Farley.
Yeah, just do your pratfalls.
It's obviously written for Chris Farley.
Speaking of Adam Sandler and how he used to be a great actor,
He was
Adam
never
Sandler
a great
had-
actor.
He
Yes,
was a funny
he was.
actor. He
Yes,
was
he
really
was.
funny. But,
Reign Over Me,
okay,
great
He's pretty good
movie.
at that.
Big Daddy.
You think he's good, like a good actor in
Yes.
Big
I
Daddy?
think
Yes.
what
I
does
think he's
that.
Adam Sandler.
Okay, but for Reign Over Me,
He's my brother. That's who he is.
for Reign Over Me, I can see why. Only because Adam Sandler is so stupid with his comedy that when he goes any kind of dramatic, even if it's not there, if it's just one step, it's like, oh damn,
Funny
he's-
People.
You know
Funny
what I
People.
mean?
He was great. He
See,
played.
I haven't seen.
Once he
Funny
goes
People yet.
dramatic, it's like holy shit
Funny
because
People-
this is not what he does at all.
You will hate Adam Sandler in Funny People, but it's because
Why?
you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
It's like kind of what real world people hate.
Well, then
him
I'll
now.
probably like him. Then.
who's
a
an
good
actor
idea.
like he plays like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy used to be the man, and then he just
It's all for
haunted
the
mansion.
paycheck.
Yeah, that's who Fred
Yeah.
Simmons in that movie, or George Simmons, plays one of
Which
those
is kind
actors.
of what Adam Sandler is these days. Except
Yeah,
honestly,
It's really
I kind of
eerie.
like watching his stuff
Yeah.
because it is. There's some funny parts, and like I said,
it's not supposed to be funny because
it's just to
it's
the
called
point.
Funny People, and it's about stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
But
I
I was
think-
watching behind the scenes. Judd Apatow meant by funny he meant funny acting. These guys act weird.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what it means. Weird people, funny people.
I think for some people their problem with that movie is that it's not really funny.
Well,
it's because
But I think
when you have-
stand-up comedians
Yeah.
act funny. They
when
act
you have Judd
weird.
Apatow who's coming off
Yeah.
40-year-old version knocked up, you're like, oh yeah, this is the third one, gonna be funny,
It's-
and
it's
then
about-
it kind
Right.
You look at stand-up comedians; they're all funny, and they're all, doing a performance.
They're not all funny.
But behind the scenes, those are battered, emotional, fucking people. You
Yeah.
know, like they lived hard lives, and
The
they
funniest
go up
people
on
are the
stage.
ones who have the worst
Yeah, that's
fucking
what I'm saying.
lives.
That's what they meant by funny
they're coming up
people.
with, yeah.
These guys have had shit thrown at them their whole lives, and they
Just
deal
cover
with
it
it.
up
They
with
deal with it by
Comedy.
Yeah, telling
and
it all
stuff
on
like that,
stage.
you know?
and making people laugh.
Well, that's the thing about that is though too. The most, except for that's kind of like a against the grain kind of thing going on nowadays. Because if you look at comedians now, look at Kevin Hart
Yeah.
and the people who are big right now.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah,
Hart,
he's-
Louis C.K. These
Yeah.
people have good lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Like
family
I don't
men,
know
yeah.
how they continue to make such good comedy, but like they're just pure funny people.
I
Yeah.
put 'em up
Because
next to
their
Richard
lives-
Pryor and
Their
stuff.
lives are good.
Yeah.
they are.
I mean, they're making millions of dollars doing, because like Louis C.K. has his own TV show.
Yeah, that's how you
Kevin
know.
Hart is everywhere.
Yep.
You had to have had some fucked up life back in the day. I mean, you look at Andrew Dice Clay and the Richard
Oh, man.
Pryors and stuff like that.
Right.
George Carlin. I mean,
George Carlin will forever be the king.
yes, he will.
Like,
I've seen a few of his.
Yeah.
I
he's
saw
his
one. I
performances
saw
are
one of
really
his
funny.
last
They are.
performances where he went on a spell for 15 minutes straight on nicknames you give people.
yeah.
And he kept saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, for 15 minutes. And he was at the end of his career, and he was like, what,
Yeah.
70
You're
something?
talking about his modern man? I'm a
Yes.
modern man.
Yes.
I'm a modern
It
man.
was like 4 months before he had died.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like HBO, like George
He's in
Carlin
his
something.
70s and just not missed one beat.
He's like, I think he was like 72 when
Yeah.
he did that. That was, what was it?
It's freaky to look at.
It was, which one was that? I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bad for you, I think is what it was.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Because I listen to stand-up comedy when I go to sleep. Like, I'll put my headphones in and I'll listen to it. It helps me sleep.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I gotta tell you, man, that makes for some fucked up times to wake up during the night. You wake up during a weird-ass
Oh,
joke, because,
shit.
like, I'll wake up and I'll hear George Carlin, fuck you people! I'm like, the fuck did I do? I just woke up. Speaking of comedy, though, like, comedians in film, it works.
It does.
And
Richard Pryor was hilarious.
Do you think it
George
started
Carlin,
Dangerfield? I think
and
that's
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
That's with Caddyshack. I think that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
it really kicked off.
But it
Really
works.
well.
It just works well.
And now, I mean, every comedian in the Judd Apatow universe is a stand-up. Seth Rogen's a stand-up comedian. Jay Baruchel is. They're all stand-ups.
And I like their comedy a lot. Like
The only one
I
that
love
isn't
thi-
is Jonah Hill.
I love
Jonah Hill,
This
Michael
Is the
Cera.
End.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such a good one.
That was
because
hilarious.
They play who we think they should be.
Yeah.
You know, like
I love Jonah Hill in that movie.
Yeah.
He's like, it's me, Jonah
love
Hill,
Michael
America's
Cera.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Michael Cera. Who the fuck stole my cell phone, man?
I just
Oh,
love
that's
that.
embarrassing.
he's
I love
drinking
that
juice
poetic
box.
banter.
he's just doing cocaine.
I love that poetic banter James Franco and Danny McBride has about coming on each other.
Okay, let's talk about Danny McBride. He's my all-time favorite comedian. He's not a stand-up, but just through stand-up or cinema actors.
Did you know he was in GTA 5?
Yes,
Was he
I
really?
found that out 2
He
months ago on the radio.
alright, yeah,
Wow.
he's a radio host.
Yep.
He has a what is
So I was
his?
going through the radio.
his,
I'm like, wait, this guy sounds familiar.
Was
he
he on the
Danny
Laszlo
McBride.
show?
No, he's got his own show. When you get to Trevor,
Yeah,
it's
like around
artificial
his area.
insemination.
Yeah,
Artificial insemination
because
is
it's a real like redneck station that he does, and
and I love because GTA, that's my favorite, is talk radio on GTA.
Yeah.
No matter what game
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
playing,
yeah.
talk radio is my favorite.
Oh, I'd love
Crazy
driving
So-
around
shit.
listening to that shit.
So like driving around listening to him to be like, he's like, my daddy beat me in the cattle field when I was young.
Yeah.
You don't see me having a bad attitude.
Yeah, it's funny. You're like, man, Danny McBride just
Danny
right
McBride
here.
wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Will Ferrell and Adam McKay.
Yep.
Because they made the Foot Fist way in Concord.
Adam McKay needs to get more credit than he's
Oh,
getting.
yes.
McKay is hilarious.
For his stuff on Saturday Night Live. It all takes somebody just finding you. Because Jody Hill and Danny McBride in North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, made this really bad movie, but it was funny, called The Foot Fist Way. It was
Yeah.
It was about a martial arts or a karate instructor. And Will Ferrell just got it on his desk one day and thought it was hilarious, and then boom, you see him in
Yeah.
Now
All
look
these
at him.
movies.
And now we have Danny McBride.
Yeah.
It's just in like, oh,
Which I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
know. I don't know if you've seen it, but I love like stupid comedy. Like Your Highness
Oh my god.
is one of
Yeah.
my all-time
That was a hit and
favorites
miss with
now.
me. That was a
I
hit and
know.
miss.
I
Because
love
it's so
Your Highness.
stupid.
I
It's not
love
even-
Your Highness.
It's not a,
That
like
shit.
a witty funny. It's just all
Stupid.
stupid.
But like for me, like
That's
I
it.
watch movies differently. Like
No.
I'm the guy in the
Yeah.
theater who laughed for seemingly no reason. Shit just hits my funny bone.
Yeah, me too.
Well, what's your
and
what's
I
your
do
favorite
stupid
type of
shit all the
comedy?
time, so.
Is it the Will Ferrell comedy where it's like The Goods? Because that movie.
The
I
Goods
never saw
was
that.
great.
I
The Goods is
wanted to.
With
awesome,
Jeremy
man.
Piven. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see that because of the cast.
Oh, that is so.
That's
such
another
a
one that
funny
has like
movie.
people like Craig Robinson.
Yeah,
shit in it
Craig
all the
Robinson's
time.
another funny one.
my favorite comedian actor and is Vince Vaughn.
Really?
I think
Really?
that
Wow.
I think that
He's very dry.
I think
Yeah,
he's
I feel like
completely underrated. Look at the movies he's made,
It depends
and
on
like look what he's in.
yeah.
Like he
depending
started at the very bottom of comedy acting,
Yeah.
and like I mean he even tried when he redid Psycho. He was like, okay, I'm obviously not cut out for this bullshit.
No, if
Like
if he's working with the right people or I guess the right things, if he has like he can be funny. But
no, I don't
depending
think
on-
for me it's not he can't. It's not that he can't be like.
He's just naturally funny.
I think that
Oh.
he's just
feel like he-
exudes that it's his attitude for me.
Talk about people that started from nothing. Remember where Paul Rudd started?
Yeah, Paul
Right,
Rudd even.
yeah.
He started in
He
Halloween
was
6.
in Halloween 6
Yeah.
of all the one people forget
Well,
about.
Johnny Depp fucking started
Yeah.
it dying in a like probably
Yeah.
the most gruesome
Yeah,
Freddy
uh-huh.
Krueger death ever
Yep.
Yeah.
in the
First Nightmare on
bed.
Elm Street.
Yeah.
and that, so.
The first movie I remember seeing him in was when he was one of the brothers in Zoolander.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yep.
and for
That's
me,
right.
like he made that whole scene. You know, like
Yeah.
Zoolander's just sitting there like, I don't want to be here, and he's just sitting there like, what's wrong, little brother? Like, your brother's not good enough for you anymore?
Yeah.
Like he's just covered in like soot and he's just
Yep.
drinking a beer. Like for me, I don't know why, but from that point on, I was like, okay, I hope this guy is in a movie by himself.
They need to make
And now
Dodgeball
he's
2
made
already.
he's
Yeah.
made Dodgeball. He
Yeah.
made fucking Wedding Crashers. I love
See,
Wedding
those
Crashers.
are good. That's like his
I even like Fred Claus.
hit.
I don't even know. I don't
See,
know if
that's
you've
like a
seen Fred
mystery.
Claus. It's not a mystery.
And like
See, that's my favorite part of him is when he starts going on rants. When he goes on a rant, it is like
that's true.
it's comedic gold.
Yeah, when I feel like
in Wedding
that's not
Crashers when
scripted
he's
either.
bent when Wedding Crashers when he's bent over and they're like taking the fucking bird shot out of his ass.
Like when
he's like, how you doing, buddy? He's like, oh, don't you hate?
I feel like all his rants and anything are just improvised because he goes on and on and on. I'm like, damn.
What the heck? Fuck, I can't even I hate this show so much I can't even remember the name half the time.
I thought I'd like it.
But they made that like $1 billion movie.
Oh, Tim and Eric.
Tim and Eric, fuck Tim and Eric.
Oh, man, okay.
They made
Tim and
John
Eric.
C. Reilly not funny.
Oh, and I think that's complete opposite. I'd say they made him even
Tim
funnier.
and Eric
you
is
know.
the same thing as Comedy Bang Bang. It's
Yeah,
like
I like
what?
Tim and Eric. I'm
It's
sorry.
like they're
It's so
throwing
random
shit
and
out there.
stupid.
I think it's just stupid.
Because I'm so
Like,
random and stupid alone
I'm
as a
trying
human
to.
being that
I'm
like
watching.
shows that
I'm
are-
watching this show, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you have to watch this show." So I'm like, "All right, I'll fucking watch it."
Yeah.
So I turn it on, and I'm waiting for funny parts, right? So I'm like, I just told you I was in the theater. I was the only one laughing.
Yeah.
I was in a room full of people watching this. I was the only one not laughing.
Oh man, I'm
Here's
sorry.
the
I'm gonna have to
test.
go complete.
Here's the test.
I was like, this
I
is
like
the
it,
stupidest
man. I like it
fucking
a lot.
If
thing.
you don't like random stupid comedy, here's the test. Zach Galifianakis. Do you like
Hit
him?
and miss.
Oh my, him on Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah,
is the
he's funnier on
funniest
there than-
shit.
Anytime I
Yes.
see Zach Galifianakis, even fucking Hangover Part 3, I think
Oh,
he's
so
funny.
damn funny.
No,
Yeah,
here's the
and
thing
then-
about Zach for me. Like, I love him in his movies. Any movie I've
True,
seen Zach
but-
Galifianakis in, he's made me laugh.
He's a great sketch
I
guy.
watched his fucking stand-up. Every fucking one he brings out this piano, plays
yeah,
it.
I was gonna say.
And I was just
when I
like,
watched it,
he
was on
makes
the
me want to
piano.
hit him with a hammer.
I think
Is he
you've
just
seen the
always
purple.
on it?
Did you see the purple onion one where like it's spliced in with interviews of his brother, Seth Galifianakis? Basically,
Yeah.
the
I don't
guy
know if I saw that part.
the
but
guy he played in the campaign
Yeah.
is Seth Galifianakis.
Okay, yeah, actually maybe.
The campaign
yeah,
is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know who I really
That's
love?
just Will Ferrell being a genius, though.
You know who I really love? Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
man, king of comedy.
You can't-
Besides
That
Carlin,
motherfucker.
right below Carlin.
Yeah,
To me.
I mean, maybe, but like, it pisses me off that he was just like, well, the pressure's too much, I'm going to Africa.
Hey, that's what I would do. I'd say fuck Hollywood. That's what I would. I would do that because they run you.
Well, right. Well, but he gave a big middle finger to all of his fans.
True.
And now he's doing a comeback tour.
Yep.
He's doing stand-up in, like, I think it's, like, either New York, I think he
Yeah, I
is.
just saw that. I was like, oh, cool.
Like, if that was me, I wouldn't go to that show. I'd be like, fuck you, dude. You want to go spend time with your family and be in Africa where you fucking want to be.
See, I was
Yeah.
way out of the loop with that. I had no idea that was going on.
Because
I
he
thought-
fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
He was afraid because of the color of his skin and the money he was getting. He was afraid the Illuminati was coming after him. Yeah.
So I'm going to go to Africa. Where is it? Like, Wakanda's not real. Like,
Look what they did to him. They said Dave Chappelle went crazy and all this shit. They made a mockery out of him, but that's really
a
my
guilty
pleasure of
about
mine.
it.
Stoner movies too.
Pineapple Express.
But that in Half Baked.
Half-Baked is hilarious.
Dazed and Confused is a
Dazed
stoner
and
movie.
Confused.
That tells you right there. But
That's
yeah.
why it's his favorite.
Did Mel Brooks
really?
die or is he still hanging?
No,
out?
he's still
He's, he's still alive.
He's very old. I mean,
Yeah,
let's talk
he's-
about. We didn't even mention satire as a genre because that's
Look,
one
it's
thing-
it's under comedy. It's satire comedy.
yeah, it's like what he said, parody. I mean,
I like it when there's
Mel,
passion
nobody's
behind it.
ever gonna do it better than Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. I mean, from Blazing Saddles to Spaceballs.
What I love about those movies is that they do make fun of the genre, but they also make it like the genre. Make it like he makes
Yeah.
it. He makes it like he loves the genre.
Yeah,
I
think
always
he
watch
does.
those movies and I'm like, man, like he was ahead of his time with this stuff. you
His-
know?
He was way
You see
ahead of
people
his
do
time.
it now, and it's still not as
His
good as
weakest,
that. Like,
because they never made a part 2, was History of the World.
I know,
Not his weakest.
What's
no,
his
but
weakest?
when I watched it, I was always
No,
like, "Where's
dude.
part 2?" And like, they're like, "That's kind of the joke."
That was the
because-
joke. The joke
But I was
was
so
that
pissed. I was like, I really want to see
I
part
want to
2.
see Hitler on ice.
I haven't seen all of his films, but from what
I
I've
think it
seen,
was his
Men in
weakest.
Tights is his weakest.
Men in Tights.
Because I feel like a lot of the movie is 90s reference instead of reference of the
I
genre.
forgot that was
parody
even
of
a
the
Brooks
genre
movie.
itself.
Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle.
You know what?
I do like Dave
Talking about Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle in movies. Dave
Thinking-
Chappelle.
Speaking of getting,
But yeah,
people
I would
mixed up,
agree. Men in Tights is probably his weakest.
I mean,
Getting-
it's not a
getting
terrible
things-
movie. I'll watch it, and like, there's some parts I laugh at, but for
Yeah.
the most part, it's not like a parody of. They didn't focus so much on the genre itself. They focused more on like what was going on.
Yeah,
at
and
the
that's
Right.
what they've all
How
turned
about
into now.
movies you get mixed up? I always, like, for the longest time, now I know it's Rob Reiner, but I always thought Princess Bride was a Mel Brooks movie.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Always. Always. It was shot like one. It was, the
Yeah, I could kind of
comedy was like one.
At the end
didn't
of
think
it.
Maybe
so.
I was stoned. I don't know.
That's Mel Brooks.
Yeah, Mel Brooks. It's Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I can imagine Star Wars if all the Ewoks were munchies.
Oh my god.
A land of munchies. If Endor was pugs.
Do your Ewok. Look at that. He has the lips and everything.
That's all they fucking say. And then
I loved it in I loved the Star Wars spoofs for Family Guy.
Yeah.
When they like brought up shit like that, he's like, so they understand the finer points of fashion, but they still use wooden sticks and spears.
Right.
Yeah, it's not as good as Empire.
Yep. Braid or hair if you want, but they don't understand.
I try not to gripe about
the Ewoks
Star
braided
Wars.
your hair.
I try not to gripe about Star Wars, but even Star Wars has its like. What?
It does.
What moments
What
like?
was that?
Empire Strikes Back on Hoth, where Luke gets shot up to the
yeah.
about 70 floors, does a little thing with the
and then
lightsaber, falls 70
Right on,
feet,
yeah.
lands on his stomach,
Yeah.
gets up and walk away. Like, why doesn't he fucking break anything?
Well, I think George Lucas tried to justify that in the prequels, where you see all these Jedis jumping from like 300-story buildings.
Yeah.
Jedi's can handle it.
It's like
It's the Force.
the Force are microscopic.
Yeah, but the thing
things
about that
floating
is
in the
like
air.
with them when they jump, they land on their feet. He just
Yeah.
onto his stomach.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's a ruptured spleen. He's just like, I'm Luke Skywalker.
See,
Well, that's why it's better than
Like-
the prequels.
Because then, if you were to ask George Lucas back then when it was first made, you'd be like, well, that seemed unrealistic if he landed on both feet. Then when he does the prequels with Jedis and they do it, then he's like, well,
They lost.
They're on different
Oxymoron,
planets.
yeah.
I
Because
mean,
it's so dense, every single shot has.
And why do you need protocol or etiquette droids like C-3PO when Luke Skywalker can easily understand R2-D2?
Yeah,
He talks with them.
That's true.
right?
All
What's that, R2?
Yeah.
You don't like this planet?
No, we're not going to stop. You just went to the bathroom.
Yep, that's right, R2. We're going to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system, R2. We just blew up Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
There's just some things you let go because you're focused more on the big picture.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
I mean, it's the fucking wars, you know?
Yeah.
Unless
I mean,
they're
but there are
movies.
some things
Come on,
that.
man. It's the war.
Yeah, it's the war.
That's what I love
I
about
can't
you,
miss
man.
it.
But there are a lot of plot holes that you really notice and you just can't help but like.
Yeah.
But as far as film directors go, you mentioned earlier, I think mine would be Alfred Hitchcock. I mean,
yeah, let's go to favorite directors to close this one up.
Whedon.
Joss Whedon, Hitchcock.
Man. I feel like I'll sound cliche if I say Spielberg, but I like everything he puts out.
Spielberg's good.
But,
He's not cliche.
It's not really cliche. I mean,
Yeah.
Spielberg
because
is
not
great.
everybody likes Spielberg.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
It's either Spielberg, I don't want to take away from you, but Tarantino,
Or you already knew my answer.
or
Tarantino.
Tarantino.
I knew you would.
yeah,
or,
Tarantino's another one of mine.
Ryan's
too.
favorite movie's War Horse.
No, that's actually the one I haven't seen. I've seen everything but
Is
that.
it Red Tails?
No, that was George Lucas that
George
Lucas
produced
produced it.
But, yeah.
But Whedon's my favorite director. Right up behind him is probably my all-time would be Smith. I love Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to pick a director when you like the majority of everything they've done. So I'd have to say Paul
If you just
Thomas
love so
Anderson,
many
too.
movies, it's really hard
Yeah.
to pick your. I mean, a list of directors is easy, but to
Yeah,
pick
I know.
your
But
all-time
my
favorite-
all-time favorite, and it's Joss Whedon because of his content. Every single thing he's put out is my thing.
Yeah, I'd probably say Spielberg, I guess.
Spielberg?
'Cause I like his... Except New Age Spielberg is weird because all his films are like really glossy. And they're not bad films, it's just... It almost doesn't feel like Spielberg now. Like Tarantino has kept it the same way throughout, so... And I don't want to take away because I know you're going to say Tarantino. And you have
Tarantino,
more
yeah.
reasons,
Tarantino.
probably,
No, and
so.
Smith is another one. One that I kind of dig, but a lot of people have gripes with him because he fucks with fandoms. J.J. Abrams.
No,
I like
agree,
Abrams,
though, yeah,
though.
Well,
I like him.
if you're hardcore
Yeah, it depends now.
Trek
because-
fan,
Oh
he
yeah.
fucked
It's
up
I know.
the
Yeah, he fucked up
the
some-
Prime Directive, everything. But
I still like the two movies though.
But
I
Super
like
8,
Star
talk
Trek
ab-
and Into Darkness.
talk
Yeah.
about Spielberg.
Yeah,
as
there you go.
Super 8
right
was
there.
amazing.
Yeah,
That was a great
Yeah.
throwback. But yeah, Abrams is one of them too.
And I think even the Coen brothers are.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Coens.
I forgot about them.
I
Oh,
will say,
shit.
like the Coen brothers, it's either I think the Coen brothers really hit close home to me because they'll take these simple premises and turn it not only into like a good crime thrillers, but they have such good humor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they do.
Burn After
Burn
Reading.
After
Yeah,
Reading.
Burn After
shit.
Reading. I didn't actually think going into Burn after reading I would like it,
Me either.
but I loved it.
Yeah, me too. I like
That's
it.
one of those
more
movies
than
where
I
you
thought I
don't
would.
like it till the credits roll.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, that was really
And
good.
then the
That's
credits
Coens,
roll, and
it
you're
says
like,
Coen
wait
Brothers.
a second, and then you process the whole movie.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it's
just
like,
like,
what
wait,
the
I
hell?
actually,
That
I
was
enjoyed
really good.
every minute of me watching that movie.
Yeah.
I love The Big Lebowski so much.
Yeah.
That movie is
Lebowski.
over the line. All right, well, that was a long one.
That was.
Yeah, that's a lot of talking. Thanks for sticking with us.
I think we outlasted the heat because I'm not even
Maybe.
that hot anymore.
I kind of, yeah. It's just
we
like
just sweat all of the sweat we had in our
No, I
bodies.
think it's actually fall.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's how long we talked.
It's like mid-September.
That
right
is how
now.
long we talked. Wow.
I'm Double A Ron. This is Shithead Dave.
And we are Thai Studios members, Trent Parker.
Ryan J. Stone.
All right, have a good one.